What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 44 of the Save Data Cast. Yeah, I know 44, it's a lot. We've been doing this for a while. Your usually bi-weekly gaming discussion show where we talk about games, reviews, news. And this week, we're talking the best games of 2022. Before I get to any of that, I am your host, David, and I am joined by my lovely cast, starting off with the captain himself, Zach.
Wow, it's 2023. I've only fucked up rating that twice on something so far. So congrats, everybody.
Now I think about it, didn't mess that up too much this year.
Oh, I fucked it up immediately.
Yeah.
That man right there is Chris.
The best game that came out in 2023 was RuneScape.
No, not even a little bit.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't even think RuneScape's in the top 10 games of the year that it came out.
I don't know what came out in 202001, Zach. It's been a fucking long
2001.
time,
Some would call the golden
Good year
age,
for games. Good
Some
year
would
for
call the
video
golden age. I don't know who would say that, but some would call it
folks,
that.
Go watch David's video essay on the golden age of video games. YouTube.com.
Like the only video essay I did for this channel.
Ooh, GTA 3. Ooh, Metal Gear Solid. Ooh, Metal Gear Solid. Yikes.
This is a good year for games.
It was a good year for
Melee,
video games.
Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Oh my God. Oh,
We are
Final
all,
Fantasy X.
oh my God.
Keep going.
we are also joined by the Ace Attorney himself. That's Bridge.
Everyone in the chat, tell me who your favorite X-Men is and why it's Quintavious Choir.
Quintavious Choir.
I hate you, Quintavious Choir.
Good luck
So
to
good.
anyone trying to Google that name. Good luck spelling it.
Yeah,
Have fun.
Seriously.
I tell you what his mutant name is. You just have to spell Quintavious Choir.
His fucking mutant name sucks so much ass.
It's bad.
Screw
It's
you.
real bad.
He's now my favorite X-Men, despite the fact that I know nothing about him.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, we are joined by Elise, and it looks like Roxas.
Joined by Roxas. That's
Wow.
right. For at least a little while. He's probably going to go up behind the
He
camera.
looks ready to get up already. He's just waiting.
That's a sun right there. Look at that sun.
Mm-hmm.
This
Beautiful,
is my
beautiful
boy.
sun.
Sun always rises.
Folks, this week on our Save Data Cast, we're going to go through the best games of 2022. All, maybe 10 of them. Maybe it's not 10. We'll see. Who knows what's going to happen with that. But before we get to any of that, I want to tell you to go follow Save Data Team on all social networks, all over the place. Join our Discord. And I just realized Zach didn't send me the updated Pokemon wrap with the duplicate removed.
Oh, but it's on P-Cloud.
you didn't
Should
tell
I have
me.
told you that?
Should have
Yeah,
told me
it's on
that.
me.
I'll edit it in post. We're also sponsored by these Patreon folks.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Back from the edit.
No, that was actually the Price is Right song they play when people are walking down.
I thought you were doing Tank.
No, I can tell you
It
think
did kind
that
of
though.
sound like
did
that.
kinda
Yeah,
sound
I
like
can see
that.
you can tell. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, let's jam. Banger.
So good.
Folks, if you want to get your name in that there Patreon rap, all you need to do is go to patreon.com/savedatateam. We're at the $2 level. What do you get, Zach?
$2 gets you access to the full VOD channel of every single stream we do. $5 gets your name included as an NPC in our D&D campaign Saving Throw, now available on phones. And you also get access to voting on one of our variety streams each month. And at the $10 level and above, you get your name included in this Patreon song. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. Burger Bun, Fluff Guff, Sunayama, Philo, Cud, Abe, Holliger, and Sofino. HSM, Ernless, Crow Knight, Danny, Antilester, Kevin Asian, Shadowed, Navi. Miss Meg, Winter, Jacob, Bell, Tucko, Sensei, Arky, Forensic, Technic, Cole, JFJ, Mystic, Woody. Leprechaun, A1 will go, Zeppeli, Sheverstein, Boomer, Emily, Relive Jolie, The Red Fighter, DJ Moon, and Sherlock's T-Flower, Stillart, Ami, Borshock, Dessert Boy Man, Elijah Sly, Rick Rat, Katja, Traveling in a Box, and Snowcat, Naruka Yongi, Chrysanthophylla, Written Word, Shade the Punisher, Sibylla. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em
I guess I'll edit it in there instead.
Yeah. Got him.
Just kidding. Now's the edit.
Got him.
In this Patreon song.
Honestly,
sorry.
folks, it's funny. That's staying in. I'm gonna
No, because my brain.
Oh yeah, I knew what was gonna
it has
happen.
a script. It has. A
I knew
script,
exactly
and if
what was
I go
gonna
off it,
happen.
I die. So,
Zach has become one with the Twitch stream.
That's true. That's true.
If I go off of it, I die.
It's true. I'm like spoink the Pokemon that if it stops bouncing, it dies.
Fuck my headphones. I
Just saw your headphones fall off on the stream.
Oh, incredible.
Also,
Good start.
Shout out to Dan Sayonara saying he reset for 23 months and oh shit,
Holy
I didn't realize it'd be
damn,
almost 2 years.
Dan!
Haven't been able to tune in for a long time, but glad to be here for the best of. Glad you're here, Dan. We've missed you.
We have missed you. And without further ado, let's get into our best games of 2022. Now, folks, how we did this is I asked everyone on Save Data Team to send me their list of up to their top 10 video games of 2022.
Mhm.
And everyone sent me 10 except for one, so I was pretty impressed. I didn't think everyone actually played 10. So
had to
shout out
scrape
to
together,
that.
but I did it.
Yeah, I could tell some of you were scraping the bottom of the barrel. with a
Oh
couple of your
yeah.
games.
My 10, I was like, I actually didn't really enjoy this game, but it did come out this year, so
I
Bro.
didn't really enjoy this.
Well, fuck all came out last year, so
a lot of games came out last
a
year.
lot of games I
Yeah.
don't care about came out.
But
last
I
year.
didn't have time to play them all, so that's on me.
I had 12 easy, and then after 12, I would have had to start getting to shitty games. But
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
about where I was, Bridge.
I had
But
12, but
folks-
2 of them I didn't care about.
I had a few games that didn't come out this year, but
A
either they
few?
came out like no, only a few. Either they came out last year, or they got big updates this year, or they got like PC releases this year.
Elise, I put a bullshit one on my list. Help me God, if you put Roller Coaster Tycoon on there again, I'm gonna fucking knock you
She
out.
Elise did not
No,
put
no,
Roller
no. I
Coaster.
didn't put Roller Coaster Tycoon on it. Mine. I put Open RCT or Open TTC.
Same bitch, different fonts. David, continue.
Wow.
Once everyone sent me their top 10s, I put that into a point system and then ranked them by the top 10 video games. And let me tell you, the first time I did that, put them all in the point system, 10 for number 1, all the way down to 1 for number 10. That ended with us having like 16 video games in our top 10 due to ties. There were literally 6 ties. There were 6
Amazing.
ties for 6 of the 10 positions. So I tweaked the point scaling a little bit to reduce the number of ties. So it's weighted a little heavier towards the top. Your
Right.
game of the year and second game, let me verify that. It might just be game of the year.
If
It's
it's
just
just
your
game of the year, that would be
It's-
very
it's-
accurate to my list.
It's just just your game of the year is heavily weighted, and then everything else is normal scaling down. So I did 15 points for number 1, 9 for number 2, and then scaling down to 1. And that fixed it. The list isn't like 15
Amazing.
games anymore.
Amazing.
So I figure we will start from the bottom with our number 10. We'll go all the way up to number 1. Shout out our honorable mentions. Briefly talk about what's not on the list, and then that'll be our best games of 2022. Sound
So
good?
sorry,
folks?
are we like going around and saying our number 10 and then you're saying
No. I was going to do the
total
group number 10,
Okay, cool.
and then if you want to shout out some of the games on your list at the end, we can do honorable mentions.
Love
Great.
it.
I love that.
All right. So, starting at number 10, the 10th best game of 2022, according
Come on,
to Save
baby.
Data,
Come on, baby.
is Warhammer 40k Darktide,
Oh.
Yo.
Yeah.
a game that
Yeah.
I wanted to play but didn't.
So who all had this on their list? I know I did. I'm
This
sure
is mine
Elise
at
did.
number 5. Yeah.
Chris and Elise were the only ones with this one.
Oh, okay.
What you have
Okay.
at yours?
I have 7th on mine.
Okay. So Warhammer 40k Darktide is a game that is not technically, but definitely still in beta.
Yeah.
It's a game that is very broken in a lot of ways and has some really baffling decisions, some really bad decisions. The cash shop is awful. The way
Oh
you
God,
get
it's
new
so
guns, the way you get new guns is awful. Basically, you just need to wait for a full hour and it refreshes. The shop refreshes like every hour on the hour.
Yeah,
You just
so
need to
it's
hope to get what you want.
It's a weird system because like you can just fuck off for an hour and come back like, oh, it's better now.
Yeah, exactly.
Which actually I like because it's been great for me.
That is interesting, actually.
And the only other way to get guns is like just completely randomly after the end of the
complete
mission.
RNG.
Like, and it's like not often. It's like once every like 4 or 5 missions.
Sounds like Splatoon's
the
one
crafting
mode.
system is like half finished.
Oh boy.
But you get through all that and you actually get into a mission, and it is the best horde shooter, like Left 4 Dead style game that I've ever played.
It's the best horde shooter since Left 4 Dead 2.
Holy shit! Okay, that's good.
This franchise was dead. Basically, not franchise. Sorry, this genre was dead until the Vermintide devs basically fucking pulled it out of the goddamn dirt and gave it some life. It's also worth noting that all that buggy shit is modus operandi for this dev team. Like Vermintide 1 and 2 were bad for a while and then eventually became great. The thing is that they will they'll update this fucking game until they make a new one, like door to door, basically. So it's fine.
So I don't recommend if you're not like dying to get into this game right now. I would say wait for like a year.
Okay.
If you wait that long, will enough people still be playing?
Yes, because these games have diehard fan bases. And also, it's Warhammer, which has an additional diehard fan base.
That's true.
That's true.
Jason asks, how does it compare to Vermintide? If you wanted Vermintide to have shooting, you will very much like this game. Yeah. If you don't want Vermintide to have shooting, you probably will not like this game. Just play Vermintide.
Also, if you don't care about Warhammer Fantasy, but do care about 40K, like... I only sort of care about Warhammer Fantasy. I played Total Warhammer, but like otherwise, I care a lot more about 40K. That franchise or that like world actually, like I like that world. I like seeing what's happening. I've read books in that world, so that's huge for me. That's like a big part of what Darktide. Like
40K
I really like 40K.
40K feels a lot more unique and interesting than fantasy.
Yes. Also, the handling, like seeing, because 40K, obviously, you always see it like massive scale, hundreds of thousands of people dying or whatever. Seeing it on like a micro level, like going into a fucking town in Warhammer is really cool.
Also, this game sunk me back into my Warhammer like obsession, which I'm still in. I was playing Warhammer, like Total Warhammer today.
You fell hard into this franchise again.
Also, I grabbed a box of Kill Team Legionary Space Marines, and I built this little guy.
Yeah.
And painted. I have 2 others built. There's a bunch more that I haven't built in the box, but this is the only one I've painted so far.
One day I'll get off my ass and get into Warhammer figurines, but I can't do that to myself in my current state.
Don't get into like full scale Warhammer.
Kill Team. I want to do Tal Kill Team.
Yeah. That's what I got. Full game Warhammer is a bad game, and 2, it costs like $1,000. Whereas like you can get a kill team together. Expensive. You can get a kill team together like from scratch for like $100.
Yeah, $100.
But it's like $60 for the models, and then $40 for all the supplies you need to build.
Right, yeah, paint shit,
and play the game.
Warhammer, good. Moving on.
Yes.
Fair.
Heck yeah.
Move on.
Awesome.
All right, number 9.
Please.
Horizon Forbidden West. Okay.
I thought this, or what I'm guessing is now number 8, would be in these spots. So yeah.
Wow.
For Horizon, we have Pridge put it at number 2, and then Chris and I both put it at number 10.
I only put it at 10 because I have not actually finished it. I'm quite close to the end, but I haven't finished it. The game, I think if I finish it and I something I like the ending, which I'm guessing I will have mixed feelings about.
Or you'll be me and hate it.
Chris, the last level is not the worst one.
Yeah. The last level's bad.
Then honestly, it might
last level is not good.
I want Pridge to talk about it the most because obviously he played it. Yeah. So my immediate quick thoughts are: I like it a lot. I think that first of all, it's fucking beautiful. The engine's gorgeous.
Undeniably,
of course it is. Ashley Burch does a great job as Aloy. The story and what they've expanded upon from 1, I think, are very good. There's some questionable stuff they made with like the past storyline decisions, and I'm sure pretty top of that, like, but like introducing the West and like the other clans, stuff like that, very well done, very interesting stuff. They have like cool gimmicks, and they didn't just make it Mad Max, which I was terrified they were going to do. Overall, very good, cool action set pieces. Game's fucking beautiful. A lot of good changes to the actual like move to move combat and traversal and stuff like that. Pridge, please.
I loved the first game. And I think for the most part, the sequel just improves on it. You get some more in-depth skill trees. They try and add a bit more variety to melee combat. It's still not amazing, but they do make some improvements to it. Again, they also make some improvements to traversal, which is nice. But yeah, overall, a lot of what Chris said. I really enjoyed the story up until the very end. I like a lot of the new characters. I like a lot of the new tribes. I like exploring a lot of the places you get to explore. And the biggest thing for me is I freaking love the gameplay of this game. It's just I think the bow and arrow. It's the best bow and arrow base game I've ever played.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
And a lot of it's the Monster Hunter player in me, but again, I love slowly dismantling my enemy, breaking off their pieces, strategically switching elements and styles and all the different kind of weapons, even if some of them suck. It just creates
Chris or Pridge, did either of you use that bouncy blade thing?
The bouncy blade?
Where you throw the blade, it would hit the thing and come back to you, and you have to catch it and then throw it again for extra damage.
All the time, fun as hell.
Oh, I hate it.
I feel like you use it a decent amount. There's a weapon Ratchet and Clank's like that, so I feel like it's felt similar to that.
Used it a ton. Thought it was so much fun.
I also have mixed feelings about a lot of the weapons. In general, though, I think that this is the closest we're ever going to get to a AAA Western studio doing a Monster Hunter and it being fucking cool and having a good story and being good.
I think the multiplayer Horizon that's rumored is going to be the actual closest.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see how that one.
I think it could be really good. I think that could be really good.
I spent 140 hours of Dauntless, so I don't know, dog.
Why would you do that?
Dauntless.
Dauntless is terrible.
It's fine. It's free to play, which means you can play it with friends easily.
Bingo.
And, and it's what if Monster Hunter was worse?
Yes. And cheaper. Way cheaper.
Yeah.
All right,
Chris, I'm mostly with you on my feelings of it. I think overall it's a great game. The bow and arrow play is good. The combat's great. I thought the story for characters was really good, but the overall story I absolutely hated in this one. Just 0 out of 10 overall.
I think that's a really good way to summarize it, because Aloy, I think as a character
level stories were good. Overall, where the plot's going and went. Ooh, did not enjoy. Did not enjoy.
But also, this is a franchise now. This is not this game is not going anywhere. This I know it came out next to Elden Ring and got its ass kicked, but it still sold a shitload of units. So,
and I'm glad they're making more of them. It's still a good game.
They currently, I believe, have actually 3 Horizon games in the works, which is
one mainline and 2 spinoffs.
Call of the Mountain 3.
There's a DLC. There's a DLC and a VR both coming out in the next 4 months, right?
Yeah, I think I have both of them on my fantasy team.
Someone, I think I took Polygon. I think it was someone from Polygon that said that Aloy is going to be people who are playing games now as Lara Croft, where it's that was the female protagonist when they were a kid. And that's honestly a really good analogy.
I think Aloy is
level of
actually pretty fair.
It is, but I do think Aloy is kind of not that exciting as a character.
Oh, I think she's way more interesting than Lara Croft.
Because Lara Croft had nothing.
Lara Croft had boobs, and that
she's way better than Lara Croft.
I think Aloy's a fantastic character.
I think she's performed very well, but the writing is sometimes meh.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think performance, the way she looks, the way she moves, how she functions and stuff is great. It's just her writing is not my style.
God damn it. Yeah. So Soapy said, I'm going to crash the stream to talk about Bill Clinton. Good joke.
That's a good joke.
We haven't discussed that game yet. Wait.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't get first place.
You have to wait for the correct game.
Coming in at number 8, we have...
I think I know what this is.
Tunic.
Yes. Okay, thank God. I just wanted it to be in the top 10.
I don't think the one I'm expecting is going to make the list then. Yikes.
I don't know which one you're expecting. We'll see. Tunic came in at my number 7.
Okay.
Zach's number 2.
So this is my number 2. I fucking love this.
Wow.
Game. I love this game.
I love
Zach liked the Legend of Zelda like game.
Yeah, that's
Who'd have thunk
not,
it?
well, it's Zelda, and it's also got like not to be memey, but has Dark Soul elements too. But
Where's the
you're not wrong, but
where's
like,
the Tunic music analysis, asshole?
oh, the music's really good. Actually,
the music is really
music
good.
bangs. So like I'll go, and then Zach, you can gush about this game.
Yeah, I'll gush about it.
The first 30 minutes to an hour of this game absolutely suck.
They're definitely the worst part of the game.
Up until you get the sword, this game sucks.
give you that
but
one.
like I almost
Yes.
didn't keep playing the game. Like it sucked.
I'll give you that one.
And then I got the sword, and then I was like, this game rules. I'm having a really good time with this game. And then I got to an area called the Quarry, and then I was like, wow, this game sucks again.
I'm surprised that you hated that section that much. Is my vibe.
It just kept going.
It is a little bit long.
It kept going, and folks, when you run out of ideas to make your game more difficult, so you just have everything in the world reduce your max health as a mechanic, that's not good game design.
Hate that.
That's not good game design, which is why I hated the Quarry with a burning passion. You walk in
That
certain
happens in the
areas,
Quarry?
your max health goes down. You get hit by the stupid spiders, your max health goes down.
Yeah, it does happen in that part. Not gonna lie.
So like those the first 30 minutes to an hour and the Quarry brought this game probably down from my number 4 to my number 7.
Okay.
Wow.
Like that's how bad
mean,
those sections were.
Listen, once you get past your top like 5 games, the back half is pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie.
I
fair.
did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not have problems with mine. It was very clear where all
That's
the games
fair.
slotted.
That's right.
But like, yeah. So I had a good time. The middle section of this game was utterly fantastic.
So good.
Zach, take away the gushing.
Yeah. So I'm assuming most people have probably heard something about Tunic, but
I've
if
seen
you
a decent
haven't,
amount of it.
yeah, it is a isometric Zelda like with Dark Souls, like save at a place, you die, you come back there. You lose your currency, but you
Is
literally
that really what a Dark Souls? Is that what we're calling Dark Souls? Sorry, not there. Was that what we're calling like a Dark Souls thing?
It also
It
has like
dodge roll.
it has a dodge roll, and for a Zelda like has some really freaking hard bosses.
It does. Yeah.
Can we please stop calling hard bosses a Dark Souls like?
No,
I mean, Jesus
but-
Christ, guys.
Hey, that's why I said it has Dark Souls elements, and Zach said the
Anyways.
campfires like Dark Souls.
That's still not accurate. Sorry,
Anyways.
I will stop now.
It does get tough. I do think combat is not bad, but it is definitely the weaker aspect of the game because the most exciting aspect of the game is so cool. While you're going around the world, you discover pieces to like an old school game manual. Y'all remember game manuals?
Oh fuck yeah, dog.
And I think it's in total 60 pages, and basically
56.
Okay, and
Not
you're
that I
getting, like,
know because I just recently played it.
yeah, no, that's fair. I finished it a couple weeks ago, but the whole game is like roughly 12-ish hours, depending on plus or minus. Well, and then if you get to there's 2 endings. That's not important. But as you're going along, you're finding this manual, and the manual will you'll get like a page of it, and like it's also more than half of it is written in a language that is made up for the game. So it is impossible to understand except for what few words are naturally translated, and then just pictures that you're like, oh, okay, that's showing me that this is happening.
Oh, that's cool.
And then like at a certain point, you get like one page that like you've been playing for like 2 hours at this point, and you find one page that is like, if you stand still and hold A,
Oh my god!
you do this.
I was
And
so mad when I
Blew
found
my mind. Because I've been playing, you could do that from the beginning. The best elevator pitch for this game is if the Outer Wilds team made a Zelda-like.
That's not
That
true.
is,
It's not
Zach,
that
you
good.
can't say
It's not
that
that
to me.
good.
You're just describing
Fuck off.
Hyper Light Drifter.
That's
No.
also utterly untrue.
yeah, no. Like this game has mechanics that you can use from the beginning, but it's more about learning the knowledge. It is a Metroidvania where you're getting items that will help you explore more of the world. But it's also you're accessing knowledge that helps you like interface with more of the
No,
world.
they did a good job with that.
Knowledge.
Because A is dodge, and they introduce you like, hey, if you hold a direction button and press A to dodge, you'll dodge. and you don't think to
But
just
if you
stand still and hold the
hold it-
button. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And also there are so many like secret passages that are
there's a
completely
lot.
open at plain sight. And like there was a point literally 8 hours in the game while I was on break that I was playing, and like this was like a super late game area, and I was like, oh, here's 2 paths. Let me take one path. And I went the one path, and it brought me back to a point that I had been in like the first hour of the game, and I was like, motherfucker, you can just come to like the end game super early if you just knew to walk this direction on the map. And like,
That's cool.
yeah, it is constantly doing stuff like that. And
Level
Unsighted
design
has
is
a thing
really
like that
good.
where
Level
you-
design's really good.
Unsighted has a thing like that where you can go straight to the boss like without doing the tutorial, and it's fucking crazy as shit.
yeah,
I literally just like looked up Unsighted to see when it came out.
it's so good.
last year. That's all I gave you. Like,
Same,
so good.
me and Chris's. But this game is so good. Definitely play it. It is not for everybody. I will not lie on that. But if you have like old school gaming nostalgia, are interested in like, if anything I've said sounds interesting,
Yeah.
and looking at this game, you say, I could fuck with this.
If you
then
pick it up,
Is it on Game Pass?
it is on Game
I think
Pass.
so.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
If you pick it up, wait until you get the sword to decide whether you keep playing or not. That's my only request.
That's right. And if you get it on Steam, that is easily within the first 2 hours, so you
Yeah.
should be able to.
You'll be good. You
could
that
refund it if you
you're
don't like it.
Like, I hate this. But yeah, wait till you get the sword so you decide whether to keep playing. Because
Mhm.
the beginning, I'm shocked in playtests that he did not change the beginning of the game.
I mean, it's a thing of like, yeah, because you're constantly getting better and upgrading your gear and stats. The beginning is the hardest section by far.
Sorry, you said is this a one-man game dev team?
Pretty
it
much.
Is
Not,
which is
not
also
entirely,
awesome.
but pretty much.
yeah.
It's
Like
like one of those ones where like he didn't do the music or whatever, but he did most of the
Yeah,
stuff.
he did
Yeah,
most of it. Had
It's
like,
like Toby Fox making Undertale 1.
Yeah.
You know, Undertale 1.
Undertale 1. Just Undertale.
As opposed to,
Undertale.
Deltarune, also known as Undertale 2.
Yeah, Undertale 2, the search for Spock. Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
it is Undertale 2, for being honest. But
kind of, yeah.
all right, moving
Reuse character models.
on. We have
yeah, get him.
Majora's Mask.
number 7, and for number 7, we have a 3-way tie.
Whoa, shit!
3-way tie
Let's
for number
fucking
7
go.
I bet
between
one of them's Pokemon.
Triangle
Triangle.
Strategy.
Nice.
Okay.
Hey, he loves a triangle. 3-way.
God damn it. Stray. And
Boo.
surprising, Monster Prom 3 Monster Road Trip.
I forgot about that game. That would have been on my list too. Shit.
Monster Prom was my number 6 for the year.
Dang.
it's
Snuck into my number 10.
It's a good game.
I think Elise, didn't you have Monster Prom 2?
Oh, I never
wait.
played a Monster Prom game.
So let's
Oh, it was
let's do- I
Vic.
think it's-
Vic had Monster Prom for number 2.
Oh wow. So let's do it.
Oh,
Let's-
Vic.
Whoever talked the most about it, whoever I rated the highest, talk about each one of those.
Yeah.
I'll take Monster Road Trip. Triangle Strategy
It's my number 4.
has to be Bridge,
it is
right?
my number
Bridge.
3.
Oh, shit.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Shocked.
Okay.
That's close. Talk about that. Start with that.
Sure. So Triangle Strategy, famously the only not the only, one of 2 new strategy games this year. Most of the other ones that came out were remakes. But Triangle Strategy is a fantastic take on the Final Fantasy Tactics style. It has a really cool branching mechanic of story where you can make choices that actually change what characters you have, what alliances you get, people who live and die, different maps that you can play. It's super cool. I didn't go back and play it. I think Pridge, you went back and played some of the differing paths.
I beat that game 4 times.
Jesus
Oh
fucking
my
Christ.
God.
I beat the
only
game
made
once and
number
I
4
rated
on your fucking
it
list.
number 3.
Pridge is like, let me sink some hours into these games, baby.
But I really just enjoyed my time greatly with Triangle Strategy. I thought it had a pretty darn good story for a strategy game with a genre that is not known for having even serviceable stories most of the time. They're just like
nor a dev team that is known for that.
no. They're just like, hey, it's a strategy game. we know what you're here for. It's not the story 9 times out of 10. But this one actually had a pretty good one. It had characters that I liked, characters that had depth and were like doing secret things on the side, choices that did feel like they mattered. And they even changed the map. Like you can literally make a choice whether to wipe out most of a city by breaking a dam or not. And that changes what happens in the next map because you flood the city and kill a bunch of your enemies and stuff like that. So cool. There's wildly different choices you can make to change the trajectory of the game. And you can literally just get like game overs too based on your choices, and you go back like a couple chapters and start from there. Like you can make
I don't know if I like that, but it is cool.
It doesn't punish you that much. It's never like
that happens once or twice. And it doesn't send you back that far.
No, it sends basically it just sends you from before the cutscenes that you made that choice.
Yeah, there's one point. There's like 1 or 2 points you can completely fuck up a story beat. Yep. But it would only take you like 10
or
minutes.
You'll make a bad strategy move and be like, I'm gonna stay and defend, and they're like, well, we really made it pretty blatant that you shouldn't do that, so you're dead.
Oh, fuck, good. Yeah, fuck, I like that.
Incredible.
All of their bullshit. D&D style, baby. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, I had a really good time with that game. Pridge, and anything to add to that?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, obviously, like you were saying, tactic strategy games are not always known for this story, but this game honestly had a pretty good one. But the biggest thing is that this game just had a really good, the sheer number of characters you can recruit and how they all feel like they have their own little niche.
They're all very different and have different abilities.
Yeah, it just makes experimenting with different comps on different levels really fun. It's a tactics game with a really good depth of strategy, and that's what you need to be as a tactics game. And Triangle Strategy really hit that.
And they had some really good...
Jason is much better than Tactics Ogre. Tactics Ogre is... Tactics Ogre just fell out of my top 10. Triangle Strategy is number 4.
Yeah, and
if I love Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, but I'm not a Fire Emblem fan, I've tried, don't like the franchise, will I like this game?
Yeah, this is a lot closer to
Yes.
Final
Yeah.
100%.
Love it.
Yeah, no, this game's great. One thing I do want to shout out to is like some of the maps where you can make really drastic decisions just within the map of what you can do to change the environment, which does also affect like the environment going forward. There is a map where you can literally like trap enemies in an area, pour oil in it, and set them all on fire. But it destroys part of the environment going forward for the rest of the game. Awesome. Which is super cool. So shout out to doing stuff like that in their maps.
That's cool as fuck.
Let's see. Vic's not here for Stray, so I can talk about Stray a little bit. Not
Vic put that high. That's
because that was Vic's game of the year.
Really? It's my number 12. I thought it was okay.
It was my number 11, I think. It fell out because of a game I played over break.
Wait, so this game is purely on Vic's number 1.
Oh yeah, no, it was Vic.
And that's fair.
This is what happens when you wait by Game of the Year in order to get rid of 6 ties.
Do you want me to? She's in D&D. Want me to run in there and ask her opinion really fast? I can do this while David talks.
I mean, if you want to, if they're playing D&D, I feel like that's kind of mean. But...
Nah, it's a good bit. Do it for the bit.
Chris is committed to one thing, if not the bit.
Hey, listen, Stray is a cat game. If you want a game where you want to be a cat in all ways, shapes, forms, and conceptions, Stray is the game for you. You are a cat. It is. If Cat Simulator was a game, it's just called Stray. It's a fun game. I had a good time with it. Obviously, didn't quite make my top 10, but like I had a really good time with the game still. Lots of cool moments. I thought the comedy in the game was pretty good for having a main character that doesn't talk. Because they're a cat. Just like I think it's a stream clip on our channel, like when they give you the harness that lets like the robot chill with you and use like the light and stuff, and what we named Cheddar, not the canon name, Cheddar the cat, just flops over on the side for like 20 seconds. Is just like good writing. That's a great like narrative design thing of like this is what a cat's reaction to a harness is, so this is what your reaction is. So like that stuff was great. I thought the world was quaint and cool. You know, all the humans being gone, it's all robots that are like confused as to whether they're humans or if they're just robots and want to explore and stuff. I thought it was a cool game. obviously didn't make my top 10 by a little bit, so I didn't love it as much as Vic did. But Roxas.
Oh yeah, absolute cat cam.
And you can sleep
Gotta
in a
get
ton
the
of
cat
areas
cam
just
for
like
the straight-
Roxas.
Yo,
Gotta get the cat
On the-
cam for the straight talk.
Roxas,
the
don't chew
tab.
the cable.
Elise's mic just dies.
That is so shocked. It's like, what? I wanted to eat the cable.
Please, mother, I must feed.
Yeah, just
This
little
cable
things
is
to
the
do.
only sustenance I will ever receive.
Stray got some good puzzles, some okay platforming. It's a good game.
What was the third in this thing? Oh wait, we might have Vic.
Oh, we got Penny.
I have Vic's opinions and a cat.
Okay, that
the
counts.
The game was cool. Vic likes cats. It wasn't a stressful game where you had to hit a bunch of buttons at once. The music was good. The design was good. The robots were fun, and the main cat looked like Panny.
There we go. Boom.
Excellent.
main cat
Excellent
Cheddar.
summation.
Penny's Quest.
Yeah, the main cat Cheddar, famously.
Mhm.
Penny's here. She fucking was sleeping. She hates this. Look at her dance.
Who's talking about Monster Prom 3 Monster Road Trip?
I think this one's a twofer because I think we can also talk about one of our bonus awards, which I think almost certainly this game is going to win.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I marked this at number 6 on mine. I just think these games are fucking great. The fact that they're just these fun little, like, well-written dialogue games where you can sit down with your friends, read off some relatively horny dialogue, flirt with some fucking monsters, and have a great goddamn time. That's a fucking video game. And it's a party game that isn't just a fucking Jackbox game. It isn't some fucking bullshit. Like, you get to experience it. It's shocking the fact that we played it twice in a month, basically. And, like, both times had very different experiences, read a lot of different dialogue, some overlapping dialogue, but that's natural and fine. And, like, I had a pretty different experience. One time we got to the end, and, like, one of us won, and the rest of it was kind of normal.
I
And
lost.
the other
One
time we didn't.
One we fucking failed entirely, and, like, I believe there was a third time we played it where, like, it was like a lot like tighter of a race, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, the game has way more depth than it has any right to. The art's fucking gorgeous. The soundtrack's banging, and if David has a list of some of our I guess superlative awards.
Oh, I was gonna come back to it, but yeah, we can give the
Cool.
horny game of the year for. We
Yeah,
can give that away on this one.
So, as David has written it here, the horny game of the year, sponsored by Pridge and Chris. I'm here to nominate Monster Road Trip. Pridge, thoughts?
I'm here to second that nomination.
All right.
There it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
there you go.
this game wins horny game of the year, absolutely.
Man. Yeah. Yeah.
I had
they-
a brief moment of thought for Neon White, but this game is way hornier.
Yes, correct. Neon White gets an honorable nomination, but nah.
Yeah. Again, like Chris said, it's a really fun game. The writing's so good, the art's so good. And, like, even with this, and, like, again, they changed the formula slightly on this one, which I didn't know if I was going to like, but now that I've played it like 4 or 5 times, it's still really good in its own way. And, like, even the conversations you can have with people where you're just, like, sitting on the bench and, like, having in-depth conversations are, like,
Oh, good.
surprisingly heartfelt at times.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, they actually really stepped this up to be funny and actually kind of heartwarming.
Their team has always nailed the comedy writing, but yeah, like the serious and like actual heartfelt moments in this game are a step up. I've played
Yeah, they are.
probably several runs on my own, and like every time I've like focused on a big romance, and like
Right, yeah, I've
the
stopped
serious
wanting to get
dialogue is so good.
I've stopped wanting to get to destinations and just romance all my hitchhikers.
Yeah. Which, for a game about a fucking road trip, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want.
It's true. It's true.
Mothman, pretty cool dude. Turns out.
All right, moving on to number 6. We have at number 6, Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, nice.
Cult of the Lamb.
Wow.
Okay.
4 of us had Cult of the Lamb on our list.
Yeah,
Really?
I know Vic definitely did.
Let's see.
This
Vic-
is actually exactly my number 6, I believe.
Okay, well there we go.
It is. Yeah, it is Fridge.
My number 8.
My number 9 and Vic's number 3.
Yeah.
Well, Vic's
I think Pridge is the top. So Pridge, Cult of the Pridge.
Yeah, we played this game on stream. I enjoyed it. I kept playing it. I very quickly got every trophy on Steam because I was having so much fun with it.
Damn.
Honestly, it's just a really good combination of roguelike, but also base builder.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were looking for just one of those genres separately, like it's not the most in-depth on either of those, but it finds a really, really impressive way to blend them into a very, honestly, just fun experience. You don't need to invest a lot of hours into it to get a good, to get a good time. It's well paced, well difficult, well difficulty scaled, and it's super cute while still being very dark. It's honestly it's just fun. It's really well done. Kudos to Massive Monster on this one.
Yeah, for me, famously, I hate roguelikes. And this hit the balance enough where I could get past that. Because even the roguelike elements were never that bad. Like, typically, you're only going to the same area like 4 times. Which which isn't too bad compared to most roguelikes. So, like, that was just enough to get me past it. And, like, the base building stuff and the cult stuff was just so fun and dark and creepy, and it was great. I had a great time with it. And the sheep's cute as shit. Fucking love that.
The art style is adorable and like really unique. Honestly, the way that it's like it's almost like hand drawn things that sort of like are I guess like parallax like overlaid kind of.
It's a little comedy in that way.
Yes, it is. Yeah. But also it is like it's unique. It's its own art style, 100%. And the fact that like, hey, we made a stupid, silly little game where you run a cult, but it actually like, hey, the cult stuff's actually kind of fun. Like, you have followers you love and you hate and all that stuff like that. You get to do some pretty fucked up cult shit like sacrifices and stuff like that. And the game isn't shy about it. They're like, yeah, you're sacrifice people.
Oh yeah.
Let's get after it, gamers.
Your followers can literally come up to you and be like, hey, this person sucks. Feed them shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
I hate them.
I hate them. Feed them poop. I had a good time with it. It was a good game. My only complaint was at launch. It was pretty darn buggy, if I'm gonna be honest. It might have been
I luckily did not have many problems.
Yeah. It might have been
like once or twice. That was it.
It might have been a slot higher if it wasn't as buggy for me.
I lucked out
because I got locked. I think on like one of my last runs, I got locked out near the end of the run where like I just got stuck in a room. It was kind of rough. But that's
very unlucky.
That happened to me
It was unlucky. All right, moving up at number 5, we have Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
I thought this was slipped because you didn't call it earlier.
Oh, is this the one you thought I was going to call like number 7?
Yeah, 100%. I thought it was be like 8 or 9.
I mean, Chris, you had it at 9. I had it at 5.
Wow. Okay. Anybody else?
Vic I had it at, I want to say 7. Yeah, 7.
Okay. And then Vic had it at 4.
Yeah. I mean, it's a solid ass Kirby game. I mean, it's been a while since we've gotten like a mainline main platform Kirby game that isn't like Epic Yarn or whatever the fuck. And yeah, you get to run around Kirby. It's pretty fucking good. Also, mouthful mode.
Mouthful mode was freaking great. Like it was.
Some of them were great. Some of them were shit.
Most of them. I mean, even when they were bad, they were funny. Like that's the thing that got me is like even the ones where I'm like, oh, this controls bad or like is just stupid, like plays bad, whatever. It was still funny, which made up for it. Like the bad ones. Like I had a great time with this Kirby game, and I'm not like a giant Kirby fan. I've played like Superstar Saga and maybe one other game, and that's it. Like I don't care that much about Kirby. And I just had a good time. Like I thought all the powers were cool. Being able to upgrade the ones that I cared about was super cool. Like you can get Kirby with a gun and then you upgrade it and Kirby has 2 guns. He's double the strength. 2 of the most powerful Smash weapons. Yeah.
Twice the power of Joker from Persona 5.
See, he learned from Joker because Joker was in the Smash that came up before this.
And that was his copy move from Joker.
Yeah.
Right?
Copied it straight from Joker. Yeah, this game was like, it was super fun. Having not played a ton of Kirby games, like the killing God thing at the end was kind of like wild for me. I was just like, oh,
No.
okay.
Kirby fights Celestial
Like every
entities.
game. I get it.
That's
Kirby
canon,
fights
yeah.
celestial things like every
Kirby's
game.
killed an alarming number of gods.
Yeah, no, Kirby's ultra powerful, but like that stuff was cool, and like the combat was cool. Having a dodge roll in a Kirby game was freaking awesome. Powers were cool. I had a great time with this game, and the art style they chose worked really well. I was very concerned during some of the trailers where I was like, "Why is Kirby in post-apocalyptic America? Why is he in The Last of Us? This is weird."
Where are those giraffes that Keely won't shut up about?
Where are
What
they,
power
Jeff?
does Kirby get when he eats a giraffe?
Mouthful mode, long neck.
Throat goat.
Yeah, I was about to say that. God damn it!
Yeah, this was a solid game. Combat was good. Platforming was good. It ran well, which on the Switch at this point is a blessing.
Yeah. Miracle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, really fun game. Great introduction of Kirby to the 3D world.
Mm-hmm. Good soundtrack too.
Oh yeah, soundtrack was good.
It's a Kirby game. They always have good songs.
Yeah.
All right, coming in at number 4, we have Immortality.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping it would somehow-
I think I know what 1 through 3 are then.
Yeah, I did too.
It probably
Wait,
would have been
what's
higher
3?
if more
Oh,
people
Zach,
played
you're
it, but I
yeah, I
think
feel
only
like
Chris.
Brom is again.
Only Chris
I
and
watched
Zach
you
had
guys
it.
play it, so I didn't play it myself. But I still didn't feel like
I started it, but I haven't like played much of it, so I wasn't ready to put it on my list yet.
I'm gonna predict.
I've played a good deal of it, but after like talking about my experiences with some friends, basically decided that, and they confirmed for me that it's probably, it's not for me. I wasn't really like getting into as much as I thought I would, and dropped it. So
I'm predicting that Zach has it as his number 3.
It is my number 3.
ooh.
It is my game of the year.
Okay.
Whoa!
I mean, look, y'all, this is gonna be a shitty bullshit part. Hey, I went to film school. This is a fucking movie about film. Of course I fucking love it. Are you kidding me? Also, half my job is scrubbing through footage and looking for stuff. So like fucking yeah, this game was for me. Also, it's like it talks about 3 periods of film that I find very interesting. French New Wave, fucking Italian Mosavia opera, and fucking like garbage era mid-2000s films. I love trash, baby. Give me all that. Fucking
Oh, that explains RuneScape. Okay.
fuck you. Playing right now, doing some fishing.
God damn it.
And Sam Barlow deserves like acclaim and like for what he has managed to do, which is make multiple FMV games that aren't just fucking FMV games, where like you have an interesting way of interacting with, literally the footage, like doing stuff with the footage. Like obviously Her Story, the computer thing, the fact that he had an idea there and then managed to have more ideas, remarkable. Doing the thing where you like pan through footage by like going into items is very clever. Overall, I think like the fact that he is able to iterate on FMV, like honestly one of the oldest forms of video game, and find new interesting ways to do it is incredible. He tells very interesting stories with it, and the just the way Sam Barlow uses mediums, like uses the fact that this is film and then this is a game with film to tell a different stories is cool as shit. And the fact that spoilers for how we finished the game, like when we pulled out, we were like, oh my god, this motherfucker used the fact that this is a video game I downloaded onto my computer as part of the story is fucking incredible. Yeah. What a fucking unique thing. Also, the performances by all the talent are great.
I was gonna say this week I was listening to a podcast that had Mano Gage, the lead actress.
The kind of funny one. That was a good one.
Yeah. In which they like didn't ask her much about the game, and I was like, ask her about the game. Come on. One of the super cool things I thought was that she mentioned, this was her first video game that she was performing in.
This is her first like
major
non-stage role.
Yeah. She's so good. Goddamn. But she was talking to Sam Barlow, like after seeing the script and being like, holy shit, there's a lot of fucking nudity in this game. And the actress who played the one was like, are you doing this to sell more copies? Like, is that why there's nudity in the game? And Sam Barlow was like, no, actually, it's going to sell less because there's nudity in the game. 100%. Which is really funny. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that would be like a perception you would have as like a not in the industry person.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because especially in film, getting your main actors to take their top off is like, oh, it's going to get dude bros to come and see the movies you want to see.
Not how games work.
No, in games...
In games, it makes your game rated M, and way fewer people were able to buy it.
The one fact I know about Swordfish is fucking.
What, the blowjob scene? It's incredible.
No, I didn't know there was a blowjob in it.
It's such a bad. It's so Swordfish sucks. I could literally go on about Swordfish. I fucking hate Swordfish so much. This movie. I would. By the way, I would pay so much money to watch the films in this goddamn game.
They're on YouTube.
One thing that was awesome.
Oh, Chris,
but at least
Chris.
Not the whole fucking
also,
thing.
by the way, I went to Manon Gage's IMDb after listening to the same podcast as Zach.
What I was about to say.
And each of those movies is listed as a movie in her IMDb page. It's great.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Really good.
I suspect very similar to Until Dawn, which is a game that has a retroactive EGOT. This fucking game will have like retroactive Oscars or whatever, because Until Dawn has an Emmy, a Grammy, a Tony, and an Oscar. I think like this game will like these actors will go on to do really good stuff. Yeah, that's really awesome.
Manon Gage is 100% gonna have a career after this, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, and the lady, I wish I knew her name. Wasn't calling her the lady that played the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Natalie Watson, who was like, this is her first time in games. She was like producer and fucking basically, as far as I can tell, like the right hand of the main guy,
Sam
Barlow, and did a fantastic job while also working at fucking Waypoint for like half.
Oh Jesus!
Wow!
She was an intern at Waypoint, left to do this, and then like halfway through got like a part-time job back, like rehired.
Dope.
Hey, Natalie Watson / Sam Barlow, want to come on and talk about the game? I'm happy to have you.
We'd love to have you.
My emails.
Oh yeah, we'll I'll finish the game and be on that discussion. It'll be a good time.
Oh yeah.
All right, coming in at number 3.
Oh baby.
We have Neon White.
Oh duh.
Neon White coming in at number 3.
I was hoping we could at least squeeze second out.
No, are you crazy?
I will.
I know.
So, I'll wait.
Now these boring ass games are gonna take one or two.
It was my number 9, but honestly, like my number 2 through 9 were really close.
What dare you call that?
I was waiting for Elise to say that. Elise sent me her list, and it's got 1 through 10. And then Elise is like, honestly, my 2 through 9 or 10 could swap places anywhere.
What?
So what I did, right, was I took all the games from like my spreadsheet that I've played this year and that I felt were eligible. None of them came out this year, but either they came out last year or they had like big updates this year or whatever. And I put them in a notepad, and then I knew like hands down what my number 1 was. So I put that in first, and then I just wrote others and like wrote them down, and then like assigned numbers from there. And then
just wrote others. Fuck off.
I was like, number 1, this, and you know what it is, but whatever. And then it's like others, all of these. And then while I was typing like my message to David of like my top 10, I switched them around because I was like, I don't know where to put these.
Can I do a prediction?
Yeah.
Pridge, your number 2 is Neon White.
My number 3.
Ooh.
Damn. Horizon was my number 2.
Horizon was number 2. Okay. Fuck.
Yeah, Neon was my 3.
What's your number 2, Chris?
Yeah, what was my number 2?
Neon White was also my number 2.
Hey!
Wow.
Yeah, and it takes 30. Yeah, that checks out. I mean, if Immortality wasn't a game tailor-made for me, it would be my number 1 game of the year. Neon White's fucking incredible. I am obviously a Ben Esposito mark. He just makes cool fucking games that slap, and I respect the shit out of that. Also, he clearly just like loves fucking Bebop because he just got Steve Bloom to play who's basically undead Spike, and that's awesome. The soundtrack fucks. The overall aesthetic of like weird,
really good.
Something is wrong. Heaven is so fucking unique and cool. And also I just love that it's like a time trial game where like so many levels I pick up and I go through it and I'm like, I didn't get it. And I'm like, well, I got to get at least like a silver star or whatever the fuck. And you go through it. And then as you're getting that like next tier, you're seeing, oh, that's what I have to do to get the next one. Yep. Oh, that's what I have to do to get that one. Oh, that's what I have to do to get the whatever it's called, the thing where you beat his time and you get the fucking thing.
The like author medal, the red medal.
That's artist medal or something like that. Yeah, I forget.
Ace, I think it might have been called.
No, Ace is the
Ace
platinum
is like
one.
Ace is platinum.
Yeah,
okay.
And then there's
that's right. I got Ace on
like
nearly every
secret.
stage.
But the way that it like lays out, like, oh, here's what you do next to progress in this game and like to do it better and faster is so fucking smart. And like there are levels where I see it and I'm like, I'm not doing that because fuck off. I need to get through this goddamn game. But there are ones where like, oh, I can do that. I know for a fact I could shave seconds off of this.
Yeah.
And like it's so fucking good. And I know that there are some complaints about like the design of the enemies is lazy or whatever the fuck, and I don't care about any of that. Yeah, I don't give a shit. This is a game about going fast and eating ass. The writing is great. I don't think anyone except maybe the devs who do Monster Road Trip write casual dialogue better than Ben Esposito. Having characters talk and it's not like exposition, it's just two people talking is the hardest fucking thing in the world for a video game, particularly. And he is a goddamn master at it.
Yeah, their dialogue is great.
I really like the way that like if you get like there's bronze, silver, gold, ace, and then author. I only got author on like 1 or 2 stages. But like the way it works is like if you don't fuck up really badly, you'll get bronze.
Yeah.
If you do like a good run, a solid run, you'll get silver. If you do like the obvious path, like the main path that you'll see as
the
you
obvious
get through,
path well, yeah.
Yeah, if you do that well and don't make any mistakes or anything, you'll get gold. And then when you get gold, there'll just be like a little hint. It's like a little hand.
The hint system's
like
so good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like a little hand that appears in the world that like shows you a little shortcut. It like follows a little path. And if you do that with like a really good run, that'll give you ace. And then like to get the author medal or like I didn't really get into like fighting my friends for times or anything. I didn't really do any of that. But just like to do more, there's always like more shortcuts and shit that you can get. And it's really, really cool. Just like watching some of these.
I played the shit out of this game. So for context, I went through every single level, got all the gifts, got an ace trophy or author trophy for every single level in the game, and beat all of my friends except for Antiluster in every single level of the game.
Antiluster is saved. It is extreme, like god of
because
speed.
Antiluster is built fucking different. Like I don't
built wrong.
Somebody clip this and we'll tag Antiluster in it.
Built speedy.
Antiluster's built fucking different in Neon White. Like there's levels where I get like a 33-second time. My next closest friend is at like a 45, and Antiluster has 20 seconds, and I'm just like, how the fuck did you do this?
What's he building over there?
That's good. That's really good.
The level design in this game is so good. I think the closest representation to this game for me is actually Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, but quick. All the time, because Doom 2016 and Eternal, you get put into an arena, you have to figure out what you need to do to get through the arena and survive. Whereas in this one, the goal isn't to survive, the goal is to go fast.
Yeah.
So it's very similar in approaches. The game just feels good. Everything, the gun abilities all just work together so seamlessly in so many cases. Where like there are levels where I literally don't shoot a single bullet. I'm only killing enemies by just chaining abilities together.
Yeah,
and
the effects.
It works so well, and there's so many cool things you can do and like interactions. there's levels where you can get the author one because you got a rocket launcher and the developer didn't expect you to use it that way, and he shaved like 20 seconds off his time. Like there's so much cool shit, and I didn't love the story as much as Chris did, I don't think, but like it was good, but it was especially the first half was like fine.
I don't think the story is like remarkably good. I think that it's cool. I think like what he did with the heaven trope is very cool, and I think like the dialogue writing is good.
Yeah.
Although the actual like story, I think it's fine. It's whatever.
The dialogue writing is great. The story is
it's carried by the fact that he can write dialogue well.
The first half of the story is meh, and then it gets better the later in the game you get.
Yeah, I think the story is the story is above average for what it needed to be to make that game succeed, and that's what I like. Like I wasn't expecting much of a story, and it was much better than I expected, which I think is why for me is part of why it shines. But yeah, this game promised fun, fast-paced action platforming, and baby, it delivered fun, fast-paced action platforming. Awesome. I got exactly what I paid for,
and it's horny.
This game.
It is horny. I will say, like, I never finished this game, and what happened to me was I was getting like every gift, every ace on every level before moving on, pretty much. Some of them I like finished the like stage and then went back to get the gifts or the ace if I missed it. But like basically every stage I was getting every gift and every ace. And then it's like the second or third boss fight, the really long one, with the person, who I'm not gonna like spoil. I just couldn't get it, and it's like that's like a 4-minute stage or something.
Oh, it's long.
And
I know which one.
Trying.
Oh, you were so close to the end, Elise.
Yeah, and I just like lost like all my momentum, and then I went to play other games, and then like I'm out of it, and like it just I had so much momentum going into it, and then it just like dropped. And I couldn't get that stage, and I could have just moved on, but I was getting, because I had like every single ace, I just wanted to get that one.
The long stages do ruin the pacing of an otherwise like 10 out of 10 game.
It also is a game that I really can't see like dropping and picking back up because of like how much muscle memory goes. I beat it in like 3 days, so I wouldn't know. So like, if you think that that's doable, then I
played half the game when it came out. And then I put it to the side mostly because I was like playing on PC and I was just done. I didn't want to be at my PC because work and things had me on my PC too much. And then I came back and finished it during the break, and like it all just came back for the most part. Like I needed maybe a couple maps to get used to things again, and I was like back in it, ready to go. Yeah, Neon White fucks. Also, it has a cat named Raz in it. Come on.
It's great.
Listen,
he's cool as shit.
This blew my mind when I made this connection literally a couple weeks ago. All of the cats are named after archangels.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Mikey's Michael, Gabby's Gabriel, and Raz is either Raziel or Raphael. Yeah,
same. Yeah.
Mostly Raphael for the more canonical archangel.
What was the thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, so he's made so whatever the fuck Sonic Dreams is, a Twitch bait horror game Tattletale, fucking Donut County, and this. What the fuck game is he gonna make next? What a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
I look forward to it though. Whatever it is gonna be good.
No, he's funny.
And he has a studio now, which thank God, because like him making one-man games was not gonna work.
Not long term. All right, moving on. We have
wait.
Oh, go ahead.
So can we take a guess on which one we think is going to be 2?
Yeah. So this is the problem where it's like, because like once we hear 2, we know what 1 is.
Oh yeah, once we hear 2,
the anti-climax thing, which I can't believe fucking one of these games made it into the top 2, but I'm not surprised because I'm sure it's both yours. Number 1, I am going to guess number 2 is God of War and number 1 is Elden Ring.
That's what I think too.
That's what I think too.
Okay, well then
I know the answer, so I'm not going to say anything.
Go ahead. Number 2.
David, tell us.
Number 2, God of War Ragnarok.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah.
And number 1 is Elden Ring.
Can I also guess that 2 of you have God of War at number 1, but because none of us has played it, that it got bumped to 2?
No,
that is correct.
It is 100%. It's David and Pridge's number 1. It was my number 5.
It was your number 4, but yes.
Oh, okay, number 4.
It did.
In retrospect, shit.
That 4v5 did
Vampire Survivor's not on here. Why is
I haven't played
number
it yet.
8? It's my number 8.
It is number 11, Zach.
Here's the thing: if you take out all the games that didn't released this year from my list, it's like number 3 or 4 for me.
Vampire Survivor should have been in our top 10.
All right, talk to me about God of War Ragnarok.
One thing before
not sold on this game.
we go into it, I do want to talk about where it sits. So,
yeah.
only 3 of us played God
Played
of
it.
War and put it on our top 10. 4 people played Elden Ring and put it in their top 10, which is why Elden Ring won.
Yeah,
Right.
That's exactly why I said that Elden Ring would win, because I knew more of us had played it.
Without the different weighting, like the weighting system that rated number 1 higher, God of War was actually number 3 before that weighting was applied.
Oh, wow.
So by
what
1
was-
point.
Whoa.
Neon White was number 2 by 1 point.
Wow.
Again, because 4 people played Neon White, 3 people
Right.
played God of
Right.
War.
Yeah. I see your point.
In either system, though, Elden Ring won by 3 points.
Not
It
surprised.
was close. It was still close, despite 4 people playing Elden Ring. It was still pretty darn close.
I believe that.
Like,
These
Prince,
games are
do you want
good.
to talk about God of War? You want me to talk about God of War?
Yeah. Much like my number 2 game, Horizon Forbidden West, this was just like the first one, but better.
Yeah.
And God of War 2018 was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is really good. Looks beautiful. I really like what they did with a lot of the story. I don't really want to spoil too much.
Nah, we'll do that
because
later.
the game is still freshly new. There were some things they did with the story that surprised me, and I wasn't entirely sold on, but later came to really enjoy parts of them. But again, I think it's just a really good, well-paced, well-scaled game.
Well paced.
I thought the
It
pacing was great.
slogs in the
minus,
middle.
Like, 1 level.
It slogs in the middle a little bit. But I can honestly only think of 2 times I felt like I was getting drawn out unnecessarily.
There's one that is especially bad, and it's the one that we're all thinking of. But
I think so,
that I had
too.
several times I was like,
There's one time where I'm like, this is going a little long, but the rest of it, I 100% in that game by the time I finished the game, basically. The only thing I had to do when I beat the last boss was do the post game stuff. That was it. Everything else
exactly.
was done. So,
it was much the same way. I had very little of actual backtracking to do.
I went around and did all the things. This game fucks.
God.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Not to cut aside, but I want to ask this as a genuine thing, because I played the first one and I adored it. Obviously, it's a great game. I still haven't gotten to this one. I intend to, obviously. Did it deserve to clean up as hard as it did at Game Awards, particularly in the performance and the narrative ones? Obviously, I think the performance and narrative in the first game are incredible. I think what Judge's reservedness as Kratos is really fucking well done. And the narrative, I think, while not groundbreaking for a AAA, for fucking God of War to pull that kind of narrative is insane, because otherwise it was a generic slashy slash. So going into the second game, do they earn that again, in your opinion?
Yes, because a lot of the new characters they introduced are all written phenomenally.
Okay.
Super, super duper credit to Thor and Odin, especially.
Yeah.
But a lot of the new characters they add are written pretty damn well.
With my playing of Horizon, where I didn't agree that everything was better than the first game, particularly the story and stuff, I think every single piece of Ragnarok was better than the first game, including the performances, including the story, and this isn't a spoiler because it was basically in the first game.
I'm watching Zach disagree live.
Oh yeah. There was a time skip too that you can feel character growth from. So there's a little bit of a time skip between 1 and 2.
Oh, between 1 and 2.
Oh,
I thought
between
you
1
in
and
the
2.
middle of this
No,
game
no,
there's a
between 1 and 2.
Naruto style
No.
time skip, and I was gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, there's a time skip between 1 and 2 that you can feel. You can feel that characters have grown and their interactions change, which I think is especially impressive on the performance side. Having Christopher Judge as Kratos treat Atreus differently in this game than the first game.
So good. He's great.
Because it's a very different
Undeniable.
performance from Kratos. 100% different from the first game. No, not 100% different, but very different.
He told his son that he loves him.
Yeah, he's told his son that he loves him. And this game has some freaking moments in it. God, man, the combat for this game is it's the same as the first one, but better because they actually built out arenas and give you mobility and stuff like that. That wasn't available in 2018, which I thought was overall great. Like using Atreus as your sidekick felt even better, and you have more options in his abilities and stuff like that too compared to the first one. Yeah, just overall, all that stuff was great. I had a great time. The amount of levels they added and stuff too, like blew me away. I was shocked.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
How much they added to the world, and even the ones that you've been to before aren't the same. So it's literally like an entirely new game, basically. That they built over 4 years.
I was say, well, it should be that. So yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I expected them to reuse.
I know what you're saying.
Like, I expected them to reuse some stuff,
especially in a AAA studio. Like asset reusal is the law of the land,
especially in a game that, unlike Horizon, takes place largely in the same area.
The same, yeah.
Like, I thought they would reuse more of that, and they did not. Like at all.
How many of the? Because you go to like the realms, right? Do you? How many?
Every single one.
You technically go to every single one.
Is that 9 or 7? I don't know.
9. 9? Oh yeah, it is 9. It is 9.
I mean, they vary by depth.
There's some heavy asterisks to some of them, but you do go to all 9.
They vary greatly in depth.
Yes,
100%, very greatly in depth. Like the side quests, not all of them, but like some of the side quests in this game felt better than main quests in other games.
There are some damn good side quests in this game.
Without spoilers, like the whale one was fucking great. I fucking love that side quest.
The whale was fine.
Oh, dude, that one was so good. Like story-wise, that was so good.
I thought there were better ones.
There are better ones.
The whale one was good.
They're better ones, but the better ones have spoilers, so I didn't use those as examples.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or this won't be a spoiler. The crater. The crater is also has like some great story elements, great side quest stuff.
Oh, the crater is very cool. Yeah.
There's one. It's almost impossible to say this without spoilers, but I think the two other people that have played will understand what I mean. What did you think about the third thing they introduced in like the latter half of the game?
Oh, I like it.
Man, what do you... Oh.
I never used it.
Oh, it kicks ass.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Okay, well, there we go.
Especially...
that's why I didn't like it as much.
It's not my favorite, but it still kicks ass. I found some pretty awesome...
Apart from when I had...
Very good. Both the story to get to that point and actually using it was like freaking great. I didn't super understand why you needed to do that, but like it was still great.
Yeah.
And the characters, oh my god, the acting in this game is good. Tony, what is it? Tony Schiff, is that his name?
The guy who played Toby in West Wing?
Yeah, oh my god. Dude's performance is genuinely infuriating.
That was an inspired choice to pick him for Odin.
Yep. And
because I would never have...
The energy he brought was incredible.
Richard Schiff.
I wouldn't say Adam Schiff. I'm like, no, that's like a congressman or some shit.
You told me he was in... That is a congressman. You told me that he was in it. I was like, that can't be real. Shut up.
No,
and that was the role that he plays. I was like, shut up.
No, we can say he plays Odin. That's fine.
Yeah. No, they announced
Odin
it. They announced it.
Wild, incredible.
I would never have put Odin and that man together. Yeah. And they did, and it works so fucking well. It's so good.
Odin as like a fucking New Yorker, like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking play you like an idiot here. Like, it's so good.
It's great. So great.
You know what's also great? Motherfucking Elden Ring!
Hell yeah, brother!
This is a strange thing.
It's a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I could go. I could stretch to 8.5.
For reference, this Elden Ring is Elise's and Zach's number 1, Chris's number 4, and Pridge's number 8.
8, I believe. Yes.
Okay. Zach, did you ever finish this game?
No. I put 90 hours into it. I can make it my game of the year.
You know what?
That's fair.
You're fair because I only put 70 in it and I did beat it. So
okay.
That's why I fell off, because I played 12 hours.
Yeah.
I like to play different games, and like I finish a game and I move on. I played Elden Ring 3 times in the span of a month.
Christ. Yeah, you did.
And also, so I played Elden Ring, and then I played it again. Not like New Game Plus, because I don't love New Game Plus. I'd rather just like start a new character.
Agreed.
So I played Elden Ring, played it again, played all 3 Dark Souls and Sekiro, and then played Elden Ring a 3rd time.
Elise, I know earlier in the show I said that Antiluster was built different. Antiluster and Elise are built different.
Can't confirm. Elise is built.
Constructed alternately. Elden Ring is so fucking good. Like, I've been a fan of Dark Souls for a while. Just like, and Dark Souls 3 is my favorite Dark Souls, just because like it has its problems, but the combat in that game is like the best they've ever done.
Flaming pile of shit. We can't do this again.
And Elden Ring is taking the Dark Souls 3 combat and just like adding to it and like refining it. The bosses are hit or miss. That's for sure.
But there's 100 of them. So
I think there's well enough hits that are clearly like, hey, you're supposed to give a fuck about this boss, that it offsets the ones where it's like, hey guys, you don't care and we don't care either. Let's be real here.
Here's what I'll say. I don't think any or very few at least are like misses, but very rarely do they hit the heights of Dark Souls 3 bosses.
I can't remember a single Dark Souls 3 boss.
Dark Souls 3 bosses are like by far the best in the series.
Oh, Zach, they're just characters from the first 2 games. They rehashed because they didn't want to come up with anything new, because they didn't have any fucking ideas that weren't just, let's jerk off this game we already fucking made.
Okay, we're talking about Elden Ring right now. Let's calm it down on Dark Souls 3.
But to Elise's point with the combat, I think this is like the conclusion. Not that's a stupid word to use, but like this is the culmination of what was set out as like the gameplay loop of DS 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, and to an extent Sekiro. That doesn't get a ton here, but there's flashes in the pan of like, hey, this is what we've taught you about how you play these games, how you interact with bosses, how you learn fight loops, but also adding stuff that is profoundly not Dark Soulsy, like the weapon arts. Is that what they're called, Elise?
Weapon arts.
Yeah.
Ashes of War. Weapon arts.
Yeah. Ashes of War are profoundly not like a thing in like any of the other games, really.
Dark Souls 3 has weapon arts.
Well, it has the weapon arts, but the Ashes of War are more than that, because it's more like customizing, right? Like you can add the Bloodhound step to a thing, and like that way of like customizing build is a lot more RPG-y. That's a terrible word.
Here's the thing, though. I barely use that system in my 3 games because you can only add Ashes of War, like the customizable Ashes of War, to like the standard weapons, the Smithing Stone weapons. And I always just gravitated to the unique weapons, the somber weapons, because those have, like, generally, 1, they look cooler, 2, they often have better stats, and 3, they have like really unique weapon arts, like of their own.
Yes.
Yeah, I've actually not found a generic Ashes of War that I don't think sucks ass.
There are quite a few good ones, but like
maybe I'll find them.
I don't know if y'all have used fucking my favorite weapon in the game, Wing of Estelle, and its weapon art Nebula, which you go like this, and you just set out like a huge arc of like space bombs, and then they explode, and they do huge fucking damage, like 1 million damage and 1 million stun. And like you walk up to a dragon or like the foot of the fire giant or like whatever with that, and they just fucking melt, and then they stagger break, and then they just melt more.
I think this is a great like explanation of why this succeeds so well as an RPG and like a role-playing game, and because like I used the fucking, I forget what it's called, the glintstone sword, the one that is like a magic casting weapon and a sword at the same time for most of my playthrough. And Elise used the fucking somber weapons, and like both of us, I think, enjoyed the game greatly. And like I was able to beat the game with that regular-ish weapon, and Elise was able to beat it with a like bespoke weapon. And like I would say that like I had a very full experience with the game. I'm sure Elise obviously had 4 or 5 full experience with this game. And like, but sorry, but like the thing of that's how well this open world system applies to a Dark Souls formula, where it's like, hey, I didn't complete the full map. I didn't fight all 100 bosses or whatever the fuck. I got to a point where I was like, y'all, I got things to do. So I beat the fucking game, and I was relatively over level 4 already, which is fascinating if you fucking just mainline this thing. but like the amount of depth here, and like it's a fucking choose your own adventure book. Like you get to get as much out of this thing as you fucking want to. And if you want to get 100 fucking hours, easily. And if you want to get 40, probably doable. If you want to get 20, doable, but you're a psychopath.
Here's the thing,
Chris, it can't be a choose your own story book because those have story.
That's a good point.
Oh, God damn it.
Hey, and the wildest thing is this has the most story any Souls game has ever fucking had. And it's still not that much.
Yeah, Chris, what I'll say here is I think you played it better than a lot of people did. Because I've seen a lot of like criticisms about this game. And one thing that a lot of them have in common is one, they refuse to use a lot of the mechanics that make this game fun. and then criticize the game for being bad without mechanics that they're refusing to use.
Well, that's because the game doesn't tell you how to use most of them.
No, these people know the mechanics and they're like, no, I'm too good for that. Fuck that. Use all the mechanics. It makes the game fun. Use magic. Use spirit ashes. Whatever. It makes the game better.
Yeah.
Number 2 is they're completionists, and they go to every they go to every cave and every
Nook and
minor dungeon and whatever. And they start to get bored because they've spent 200 hours in this game. And to a certain point, all of them, they're all distinct. All the caves and tombs and whatever are distinct.
But at the end of the game, it's a fucking cave in a video game.
Yeah,
like, what
exactly.
do you want from me?
No,
exactly.
Come on.
And here's the thing. I don't think you should. I don't think you should, because at a certain point, it's just too much. And you start to get bored.
Yeah.
And if instead you like go into caves you think look cool, or you just like go exploring and you find a cave and that's cool, that's I think a better way to play, and a way that you and I got a better experience out of this game.
It comes down to, because there is so much, and they really packed this game to the brim, and it was also perfect at launch. They didn't have to patch it or some shit.
In a year of buggy ass releases.
Yeah, like
Elden Ring coming out not buggy. Shocking.
Elden Ring was very buggy on PC. I fell through the floor many times.
Oh, really?
I played it on console.
But what I was gonna say is like there's so much in this game, and so they make you get different cool things for completing different caves, but it becomes like, oh fuck, there's 3,000 different collectibles in this game. That means like 30% of those caves I'm going into don't have shit for me. Yeah. Which at a certain point in the game, I was like, you know what? I should just look up what the reward is before I go.
And that's right.
And you should. You absolutely
I'm a chronic looker-upper. I think it's fine to play these games looking everything up, and also I think it's fine to play these games going in blind. Honestly, I think the best way to play it is to have a friend or a Discord who knows things that you can ask questions. and kind of take a milk on. But I'm a
game design from my perspective.
I
don't agree with that take, but go on.
I use wikis and interactive maps and shit. It's just how I play games. And just like knowing where to go, especially on like repeat playthroughs. My second playthrough was like half the length. And then my third playthrough was like a third of the length of my first. And also, both those playthroughs ended up higher level than my first.
Oh wow, shit!
Because of the way like runes scale in endgame.
RuneScape.
Yeah.
But the comparison I'll make here is talking about like going into all the minor settlements and finding every little thing is Breath of the Wild, right? There are 500 and some Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild. Not because you're supposed to find 500 Korok seeds, but because you're supposed to be able to go somewhere and find a Korok seed. Right?
In fact, they actively discourage you getting all the Korok seeds with the reward that you get.
Exactly. You're not supposed to find every one. You're supposed to be able to find them anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way you should look at a lot of these things in Elden Ring. You find it, but you don't need to meticulously go through and find every single little cave and every single little settlement and whatever.
Yeah.
This game draws a lot of comparisons to Breath of the Wild. I think that's healthy and also quite accurate. I mean, one of them is obviously a Nintendo game, one is a fucking FromSoft game. There's a huge difference there. But I also, neither of them have a story, so there's that.
I think the structure of the open world is very similar in the two.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Elden Ring has more story than Breath of the Wild.
And we haven't really talked about the open world that much, but I think it is a real triumph that like
It actually is. It's very well
it's
done.
incredible.
And it's
For
segmented very
multiple
well,
reasons.
which is hard to do with an open world.
Yeah,
Obviously.
for one, it does really have a sense of forward progress. It is an open world, but like there are gates and there are like places you can't go until you're later in the game. But also like you can get up to the gates of the capital without hitting a single enemy. I've done it.
Yeah,
like my
cool.
second playthrough, my goal at the beginning of the game was do not swing my sword until I'm up at the Altus Plateau.
That's
incredible.
But it's a triumph for multiple reasons. For one, just like be able to go where you want, see a cool thing on the horizon and go there. Like that's the ideal of an open world game. Just in general, that's like the fantasy that you want from an open world game.
It's a meme. It's a meme, but Todd Howard, see that place you can go to it thing it's real. Like that's a real fucking.
That's a real thing.
Yeah,
and like Wild did it first.
And like just the exploring of a really beautiful and well realized world here is great. But the other thing is like compared to the Dark Souls games, and this is something that's been brought up a lot of times, but in Dark Souls, there's a boss and you need to beat it, or you can't progress. Right?
Yeah, the ability to fuck off when you're hitting a wall is really nice.
Yep.
Yeah. And there are a few walls like to main story progress in Elden Ring, but there's also a lot more you can fuck off to do.
You can literally go spend 40 hours before you come back to the thing.
You can go to a different fucking continent, but different basically continent and just fucking fuck around and do their side quests for a while.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's huge for like just the accessibility and like the new player experience, especially in this game, is like I can just tell someone, hey, you're having a hard time with that boss. Like, here's some ways that you might like some tips that might help. But also, go south. There's a lot to do there.
I feel like I mean, there's nothing that we can really say about this game that hasn't already been said. People,
it's the most discussed game
for
of the
a good
year,
reason. And I listen. It was my number one game of the year. I think
it was my number one game of the year too.
So there we go.
Tips for this game: use magic. Like, some kind of magic build makes the game a lot more fun, and also like the way the stats work. There's a lot of weapons, or you can just make a weapon with Ashes of War to scale with magic. You are not losing melee ability by going into like interfaith, but also you get a ton of spells, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
I have one statement and one question before I think we should move on.
What's that?
Statement. Sure. Pridge putting this in his top 10.
Ooh, shocking.
Yeah.
Makes me want to actually give this game a shot.
Whoa!
Well, hell yeah!
Pridge, as the most famous Souls hater here, what did you have to think of this fucking game?
So there are obviously always going to be things about FromSoft's games design that I think are just straight garbage. That's never going to change. But what saves this game is I would say build variety.
The options
you can spec your character out in so many different ways. I'm seeing so many different weapons and be like, oh, I can't use that, but damn, it would have been cool to spec specifically for that.
And you can respec to use it if you find it.
Yeah, respecting is easy.
Yeah, but no, I've started to love my build, so I'm not changing it. Now that I have two weapons that actually scale off of it. But I think the sheer variety of ways you can play it is very impressive for an RPG. And again, when a boss fight does work, it works very well. Again, I find a lot less of them work than you guys probably do. But when they do work, they're really damn fun. Finally, again, figuring out some of the bosses that have been giving you struggles and then finally figuring it out is an incredibly satisfying experience.
Yeah.
I do wish I could pause the game. I do wish there was a way to determine what the icons under my stamina bar mean. But there is no in-game way to figure out what the icons under your status bar means because FromSoft is stupid.
Because they expect you to Google it because they're assholes.
I know, because they're stupid.
Did you embrace the one maiden?
Yeah, you lose. You don't even. You lose 5% of your max health, and you have no idea until you look online. It's bad. Again, it's unforgivably bad game design, in my opinion. That is an unforgivable bit of game design.
But he fucking loves the vagueness. He said he jerks off to it. I guarantee.
Also, if you're going to have an open world with this many NPCs who give side quests, I need a way to keep track of them, because I failed about 7 side quests because there's no way to tell that the person you talked to 6 hours ago who mentioned one vague location, there's no way to know that you failed his side quest until he's dead somewhere.
A journal,
that's absolutely fair.
A journal.
So don't include so many side quests if you have zero way to keep track of them. It's agony. I have failed so many side quests just by accidentally progressing the game.
Yeah.
I will actually go to that a little bit for like the story of this game. That it's not explicit. There's not like cutscenes or whatever. But there is a story that I think most players can follow, like a backstory to what's happening and what you're doing.
There is the skeleton of a story.
There's the skeleton of a story that you're playing, and if you look into like the item descriptions or whatever, and I know this is like kind of a meme, but I think Elden Ring is really telling a story in a way that only video games can, and like in a way that really uses the medium of video games in a way that not a lot of things do. A lot of things just use like writing a book or scripting a movie or whatever. And I think that's, it doesn't work for everyone, and honestly, it doesn't work for me that well. But
you're number one game of the year. What?
But I really do respect what it's doing. And,
yes,
and it does work for a lot of people.
I tolerate it and have no respect for it.
But I don't play these games for the story. I love the world. I watch Vati video.
Right, yeah. Vati making fucking bank off the fact this game doesn't have his story. But to Pridge's point, they have the skeleton of story, which I think is better than any Souls game has had so far. But they also hired a motherfucker, a very famous author, however you feel about fucking Martin, to give them that skeleton. So I don't think they deserve points for that. Because he gave them a skeleton and they went, good enough, send it out. We can't keep talking about Elden Ring.
No, I do have one question that I'm legitimately curious about with this crew.
What's that?
Do you all think that Elden Ring, and let me finish this question. Do you all think that Elden Ring deserves the praise that it has gotten for innovating on game design, or do you think that it has simply done a better job than other games at the same type of design?
Second choice.
I think there's an overlap between the two.
Yeah.
I think that like innovating and consolidating the good parts of different games, the good parts of like the world design of Breath of the Wild, and obviously all of Dark Souls is shit. And the good parts of open world game design in general, I think that is innovative.
I don't agree with that, but I get where you're going.
Well, no, I actually agree with least to a pretty decent extent there, because like here's the thing: the Souls games sold like fucking hotcakes, right? Every single one, they all get crazy critical acclaim, they all get a million fucking game awards, and there is critique for them. But also, when you are printing money and everyone's telling you you're God, it's hard to take critique. And for Miyazaki to be like, no, there are flaws with this formula, even if it prints dollar bills, y'all, and to actually change that is actually admirable and shows that he is like, willing to change a formula even if it already works, which is good for games in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's admirable. I don't think that's innovative from my side.
I think strictly like legally speaking, it's innovative, which is
I think genuinely the gameplay and like maybe not the explicit gameplay, but like the way you are interfacing with the world and exploring the world, I do think is genuinely innovative in like and how not only just like the variety of choice you have and how you want to spec your character out, but like how easy it is to kind of slide into a good build pretty early on in the game. And
yes, that's nice, because a lot of games you don't get your good weapon until fucking hour 35 or whatever the fuck in a Souls game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fucking nightmare.
Bloodborne is the fucking worst for it.
God. So as I said, I'm like a chronic looker upper playing like Dark Souls 3 and being like, hey, I want to do like an int faith or an int strength build, right? what are the good weapons? And I looked it up, and it's like all of these weapons are like end game from like the DLC or whatever. I'm like, what can I use now?
That's got big Miyazaki energy. Can we, David? Unless you have a segue, I think what we could do is go through the lists that shit that didn't make it, basically.
Yeah. I want to go through our top 10, and then we'll go do some quick honorable mentions. Yeah. So congrats to Elden Ring. Game of the Year from Save Data. Congratulations.
I like it quite a bit, but I'm not happy that it won.
So we got Elden Ring at the top at number 1. Number 2, we got God of War Ragnarok. Number 3, Neon White. Immortal sitting at number 4. Kirby and the Forgotten Land at number 5. Cult of the Lamb at number 6. Tied for number 7th, we got a 3-way tie between Triangle Strategy, Stray, and Monster Prom 3, Monster Road Trip. Number 8, Tunic. 9, Horizon Forbidden West. And rounding out the top 10, Warhammer 40k Darktide. Congrats to all of you. All very good games. I will say there were, I believe, 20 games that were picked, that were submitted, that were not on the top 10.
8 of my games made it in the top 10.
Bridge did great.
Only one of mine didn't.
3 of my games made it into the top 10.
2 of yours technically, Chris.
No. Let me worry about that.
Yeah, Pridge, 2 of yours didn't make it. 3 of mine didn't make it. 1 of Chris's.
7 of mine.
1 of Vic's. Elise, listen, I'm gonna take a second to fucking roast the shit out of you, Elise, alright? Elise sent me your top 10, and 5 of these games came out this year, maybe 6. I don't know if Butterfly Soup 2 is from this year or not.
It is. That's legit. Give her that one.
There were 4 games on Elise's top 10 that didn't come out this year. Guilty Gear Strive, Persona 5 Royal.
No.
Guilty Gear Strive got Bridget this year.
That counts. Fuck. Okay. Fighting games should count yearly. They get updated for like a fucking decade. It just makes fucking sense.
Sure, whatever.
MMOs count. Whatever. I don't care.
They don't unless they get an expansion.
That's the same as getting a new cast of characters. The same as getting a fucking
one character is not an expansion.
No, you get like 4 in a year. Her point of getting Bridget is fucking nothing.
Okay,
you get like 4 to 5 characters a year.
Yeah,
that's fine. And then we have Life is Strange True Colors, which definitely didn't come out this year. Or
okay, that came out last year. That's fine.
And Genshin Impact, which does get updated, but
Genshin Impact gets updated every 6 weeks.
It got the new fucking continent or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. New city.
Wait, so sorry. You said only 20 games total that we listed?
No, that'd
20
be 30 games
20
total.
games that did not make the top 10.
Oh, we're not going through that.
Yeah.
No. I will give a shout out because I know no one else played 2 of these 3 games. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope was my number 4. Game's good.
Yeah, didn't play it.
It's a good game. Do you
I
like
the first one?
Do you like XCOM? Did you like the first Mario plus Rabbids? It's that. It's a good game. And another one that I know no one here played. Finished Pentiment last week. And that came in at my number 6.
I keep thinking we're gonna do it for a fucking series, so I haven't just played the game yet.
No, I played Pentiment. It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
I do have some tips if we do play it for making it better on stream. But
yeah, I appreciate that.
I got 2 big shout outs I want to give. Number 1, we just mentioned it, Butterfly Soup 2.
I've heard great stuff.
Yeah.
Butterfly Soup 2 is so fucking good. If you played Butterfly Soup 1, or if you haven't, Butterfly Soup 1 is like a 2-hour-ish visual novel. 2 is like 4 or 5 hours. It's a little longer. And it's just about it's about gay Asian girls in the Bay Area growing up and falling in love and playing baseball. It's really cute. It deals with some heavy topics like parental abuse and being an immigrant or a child of immigrants and what that's like. Going to your home country and having like a language barrier with your family. A lot of really good stuff there, and it's also just like a really, really cute game about like people falling in love. Teen love.
Love wins. Play ball.
Love wins. Yeah. I really, really highly recommend it. They don't take long. Like I said, first game's like 2 hours, second game's like 4 or 5.
What's your other one?
My other one, and I think this is probably on a few of our lists, but just didn't make it into the top 10. Vampire Survivors.
Only on yours and Zach's.
I want to get it on my phone. I keep meaning to play it.
I didn't like it that much.
I've been playing it. So I played it a lot in like February and March, and then I didn't play it until like a week ago. And then I've been playing a lot for the last like week or two.
I played a little bit of it, and I was like, "This is just cookie clicker with extra steps," and I moved on.
It really does, like, especially in the last, like, since I played it in March, it's really opened up. It's a really great game.
Oh, you haven't played it since March?
Well, no, I played it in March, and then I like didn't play it for like
okay. So
7 months or 8 months, and then and it's just a ton of fun. It's fun, like progressing and like unlocking the new characters and the new like secrets and getting all the achievements, which gives you new items and shit to upgrade. Also, just like
it's a perfect
crafting like a good build. Yeah, perfect podcast game, or like watching a YouTube video or a show on the other screen.
Yep.
It's a good game when I don't want to pay attention to the game, which means it's not a good game.
I already got RuneScape for that.
Yeah. I will say that
I've watched this game and it does nothing for me when I watch people play. I'm like, oh, this looks okay.
It looks like I can play it on the subway, which I'm into.
But that's why you pay. That's why you play it for free, Pridge, and then you're like, oh, this game's pretty good.
It's also only like $2 on Steam. It's free
on phones.
It's free on
Oh, it's free on phones?
Yeah.
Downloading that right now,
and
baby.
you only watch an ad when you die, and that ad lets you come back to life. This man is like the patron saint of monetizing his game. It's incredible.
Well, yeah, because he just took a concept someone else did and put a texture pack on it.
This game, there's an article that came out recently that like he tried to get a publisher to like be able to sell this game for like $2 on phones or have good monetization, and literally every publisher he contacted
was like, no.
We need to make this predatory.
Uh-huh.
So he just published it for free. He's like, I couldn't find a good publisher that wouldn't do predatory monetization on the mobile market, so I just published it for free.
Zach, honorable mentions?
I will say, Elise and Zach had the worst ratio of games that actually made it on the list. Elise only got 3, Zach only got 4.
I got 9, baby. I'm winning.
I put Persona 4 Royal in my number 4 because that game came out on PC this year, and that's huge.
You mean Persona 4 Golden or
Persona 5 Royal?
5 Royal. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Right. Hard to tell.
And also on like Switch and Xbox, like that game was PlayStation exclusive until this year.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people played that for the first time this year.
I think so too.
The ones I had that didn't make it were just Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Marvel Snap, Nobody Saves the World, and then I put Shovel Knight Dig on, even though I didn't really enjoy that game.
You just love Shovel Knight so goddamn much.
What?
Probably my number 11 or 12.
I said you just love Shovel Knight so much, Doug.
I mean, it was good. I finished it, but I was like, this. It kept fucking with me because I kept thinking that you had to move in time with the rhythm, like a Crypt of the Necrodancer, but you super didn't, and so I died a lot, and I just my brain could not get around that.
Hey, Mina the Hollow come out this year. We get a proper fucking another game.
I can't wait.
Maybe coming out this year.
Bro, I'm gonna be so mad if it doesn't.
I think they said December, so like,
if
it gets delayed, it's out of the year.
Skull and Bones already got delayed.
But I also do want to mention I played Yakuza Like a Dragon this year, and it would have been in my top 5. But
only video game to make me cry ever. Yakuza 7.
This guy says he likes fucking Metal Gear Solid 3, and it did make him cry. What a loser.
I was like whatever 12 or whatever the fuck. I was 2. I was like fuck. I was 2. Like I can't cry back then. I don't give a fuck. 7's so good. Yakuza 7's so good.
Yeah, it's great. Good. Also, shout out to Monkey Island. There you go back. How about that? It came out this year. None of us played it.
It's true. I want to.
What's that game? That Taiko drum game? Who cares?
Sure.
Rhythm Heaven, I think, is the new one.
Yeah, sure. Don Chan's big day out.
Shin-chan,
Chris,
also
do your
is a game I
bit.
wanted to play. Thank you, Soapy.
Yeah, I'll just run because like pretty much everything I wrote made the list. Oh, actual honorable mention, Anno Mutationum, because I just started playing it after the year ended. Hey, it's great. Go fucking play it. It's fucking gorgeous. Great spectacle fighter. All the pixel art's great. Cool, great. Go play it. Number 10 is Hit Forbidden West. The 9 Kirby, 8 Cold Lamb, 7 Darktide, 6 Monster Road Trip. Number 5 is Saving Throw, now available in phones. You can go watch Saving Throw. My number 5 was Dungeons and Dragons, idiots. Yeah, look at all the you can't fucking stop me, dumbass. Fuck you. Go watch Saving Throw. Fuck, I closed my.
But
my
do
list.
actually.
Yeah, do watch Saving Throw, please. God, please.
Hey, Chris, you want to hear something funny?
Yes.
If you had just not put Saving Throw above Monster Prom, it would have been higher on the list.
I don't care about that. Last year, I did fuck Zach out of getting a game on the top 10 because I put the Smurfs. That was incredible. I can't capture that lightning in a bottle again though.
Yeah.
Number 4, Elden Ring. Number 3, I'm shocked this didn't make it. I guess I'm the only person to play it. Sifu.
I played Sifu. I hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And this is the game I actually want to talk about as I mentioned. Sifu is really fucking good, and it's if you like kung fu movies. I hate the fucking it's a love letter to whatever the fuck thing. Hate that. But this is genuinely a good version of that. This is a hey, we really love kung fu movies and The Raid and whatever, martial arts movies in general. Yeah. We want to just make a fucking game that is that experience of it is a one long continuous thing. It's because technically the game is one continuous string, right? Broken up into levels that you can play however you like. But it's just one long ass thing. You go through the whole fucking thing, and it's just end to end people kicking ass, doing sweet kung fu moves, and there's some weird shit going on too.
If you don't like roguelikes, though, don't play this game. I will.
If you don't like roguelikes, you don't like
if you don't like roguelikes, you don't enjoy video games. There, I said it, folks.
If you don't like roguelikes and you don't like the core competency of a fighting game, like a game where you fight people, do not play this fucking game. You will not like it. But if you like any kind of brawling or maybe even an Arkham style fighting, whatever the fuck, this game is at least worth giving a try. It's incredible. I fucking loved Sifu. Maybe at some point I'll do a speed run on the channel because I think it's fucking great. It's really cool to watch it as play through in one 40-minute thing.
Okay. Bridge, you got any shout outs you want to do?
Citizen Sleeper was very fun, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was very fun if you like Xenoblade Chronicles games.
Fair.
So a million people in the world.
I've heard good about it, but I haven't heard a ton about it. It's better than 1 and 2.
One's story is better. Definitely better. Oh, I don't know. It's about as good as 1. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take
better
that.
Than 2, not as good as X.
But you and I love X though. We're the creeps.
Yes, I'm an insane person who
thinks dig giant robots instead of Chris and Fridge.
Yeah, I'm an insane person who thinks Xenoblade Chronicles X is the fucking pinnacle of gaming. Because I'm a weirdo.
All right,
XC3 is still really fun for fans of the franchise.
Yeah. Last on the shout out, Vic would like to shout out Disney Dreamlight Valley, because farming.
I mean, a lot of that game in this house.
Listen, as someone who loves Stardew, I get it.
Honestly, it does seem like a pretty solid Stardew clone. Honestly speaking, it seems pretty.
It's a Stardew game.
It's pretty sound. Yeah,
I want to play it, but I'll probably just wait till it's in 1.0.
Did we want to do a couple funny awards? How we feeling?
I think
we ran a little long, so I'm
let's just do a game we're looking forward to, most hype game of the year. I think that's for 2023.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be Tears of the Kingdom for everybody.
It's not for me. It is close for me. I mean, I think. Okay, how about this? Most hype game that isn't the new fucking Zelda game. Shut up.
Okay.
Because we all this is the shut up about Tears of the Kingdom most excited game of the year award.
Chris, you want to start? You talking big game here?
Yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake. No. Here's the thing: if it actually comes out, it is Starfield. I know that's strange for someone that has problems with Todd Howard. I want to know. Here's the thing:
I do want to know
because it's either going to be,
oh
my god, this is actually fucking good, or I will have. I mean, it's so dramatic to say I lost faith in like Bethesda or whatever. But I hated Fallout 4, detested it. So like
Yeah, I didn't love it.
if this game sucks, I will very part of okay, this studio is not making games for me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel you on that one.
That's fair.
Also Street Fighter 6, but like shut up. Nobody
Yeah, I'm
cares.
surprised you didn't just start with that.
Yeah.
For me, it is again, I don't believe this game's actually coming out this year. But it's Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 for me.
Oh, okay. I thought it was on
Mm.
I don't believe it's coming out this year. So, I mean, like, if I had to pick a replacement, it's probably Final Fantasy 16 because that also looks fucking good.
It does look good.
Yeah.
So it's probably one of those two. And then also shout out to Tales Symphonia Remastered because I'm going to play that game again.
I think my most hyped game of the year is probably Angerfoot.
God damn.
Damn
Motherfucker picked Angerfoot in the first round.
Oh, Carl, you sweet
put
summer
that one
child.
for Carl.
Oh my god.
No, but really, I am pretty excited for Jedi Survivor. I think that game's going to turn out really well.
Man, if I believe that game wasn't going to be broken again at launch, I would be more excited.
Understandable.
I bet it won't be this time, but
I hope it won't be.
That game only has
me too.
like 78 Metacritic because it was so busted at launch.
yeah.
Like,
Deservedly so.
Also, is it cheating to say I'm really excited for Lightfall?
no, I mean,
Yeah.
No, I don't think
more
so.
Destiny. It's Destiny 2.
It's cheating to say Silk Song because that game's not real.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure Pridge will probably pick something assuming it's coming out, but because I don't think anybody else would speak about it, Resident Evil 4 remake. It's one of, if not the best Resident Evil. I love Leon Kennedy and his goofy, dumbass antics while saving the world several times and the president's daughter.
I love Leon Kennedy and his goofy ass.
He is so stupid. I will say one thing I'm worried about with this game is that it seems like they're making it way more serious, and Resident Evil 4 is kind of very campy, and that has me a little skeptical, but I still think they're going to be able to tell a great story, just like, God, Resident Evil 2 remake is so fucking good, and I just want that with Leon Kennedy in 4. Anyways, Pridge.
So I mean, I do have a new mainline Fire Emblem coming out in literally.
Oh, just a week?
Yeah, next week. Let's go.
I
We're
do have
absolutely
legit-
playing that on the channel, by the way.
I do have
First
some
impressions.
legitimate things I'm not excited for about that game, but it's still a mainline Fire Emblem. But actually, no, the game I'm actually most excited for is Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
yes.
I platinumed that game earlier this year, the first one, earlier this year, and y'all, that's
a good game.
such a freaking good game.
It is a good game.
That game.
They don't have to do much to make me completely fall in love with the second one.
Insomniac is just bonkers good.
I probably made it like
the Brian's
75, 85% of the way through the first game this year when it came out on PC. And then I hit like a Mary Jane section and I didn't want to play it. And then I turned the game off and then I played other games and I never finished the game because the Mary Jane and Miles Morales sections in that game fucking suck so hard.
They're bad. Luckily,
They're so bad.
Luckily, all but one are incredibly short.
That's true. I still hate
it's the only saving grace. But no, you're right.
They still made me
The saving grace is it's over
I
fast.
have a strong feeling those sections will not be in Spider-Man 2.
I
I hope
1,000% think that they won't. Yeah.
I think they're going to cut that because that was universally hated by literally everyone.
Yeah, they're not good.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, folks. That's been our best games of 2022. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, we're going to definitely be doing some first impressions on Fire Emblem Engage, I believe, on next Friday. So super tune in for that. Look, I'm assuming me and Pridge will be in on that one.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be you two and Jason, I imagine.
Unless Jason's still streaming it on his channel.
Yeah, Jason wasn't playing it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
So yeah, we're definitely going to be playing that next week. So stay tuned for that one. And yeah. Do we have anything else special happening next week? I don't think so.
Not that I know of. I mean,
Monday we have the return of Pokemon, right?
Oh
That's sort
Oh
of
my
special.
god, I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Yeah,
I still have
yeah,
to
we
make
got
the
Return
layout for that.
Pokemon.
Jesus
Hey Zach,
Christ.
how's that layout coming on, buddy?
I haven't started.
To let the record show, on Monday, I was like, hey, I'm trying to get a head start on this. And motherfuckers were like, eh.
I mean, listen, I wasn't gonna do it till Sunday anyway, so
You know what? I appreciate the honesty.
it's just me. It's just me being like, okay, well, I still have to finish Ace Attorney before I start that. But yeah.
Yeah, Monday we got the Return of Pokemon. Wednesday we got Ace Attorney. Thursday or Friday, I forget. I don't know what time the launch of Fire Emblem is, but we playing Fire Emblem Engage, probably Friday. So yeah, stay tuned for that stuff next week. And then in a couple weeks, come back for some more Save the Casts. I don't know what the topic is, or else I'd give you a teaser. But I have an idea for the topic, but I haven't told these guys yet. So
Best Fortnite dances.
Sponsored by Zach.
I'm choosing the Dougie. They do the Dougie in that one game.
You were the only person that would know, dog. You could tell us anything, we'd believe it to be true.
I know they have the I ain't never been with a baddie sheet called, so I added to the tally song. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I remember I had that one.
A ding, ding, ding.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Night, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.